All right. Sorry, y'all. I got so wrapped up in the story, but I'm just gonna wrap it up really quick. But basically, like I said, they go they go on this very extravagant trip. He balls out on her on the trip. While on the trip, he acts up. He gets into his ego. Um, he does he behaves in a very immature fashion, from what I was told. And okay, I'll give y'all an example. So they were in a restaurant, and they were in a very nice restaurant. The chef comes out, comes over to their table, checks in, asks them, how was the meal? Did you enjoy it? Very standard, anyone that's been to an establishment like that, that happens. The chef comes out, oh, did you enjoy your meal? Blah, blah, blah. Guy does that. He gets in his feelings because he felt the girl that he was a little bit too flirty, and her and the chef were too chatty, too long, and that he felt a way about their interaction, right? Because he's insecure within himself, right? And I'm not even gonna get into this guy's appearance because I'm sure you all can probably imagine what he looks like. But he does have self-image insecurities, and I guess maybe he felt he was being ignored. Maybe he just felt she was being too friendly. I don't know. From what I understand, this is someone that the girl that he went after is like that friendly boss babe type, archetype, where she's friendly with everyone. She's outgoing. She's just a nice, bubbly personality naturally. It's nothing, um, it's not like she's just. I'm sure it wasn't malicious, right? I'm sure it wasn't malicious. And even if it was intentional, right? Because you do have some people that will intentionally be super flirty and whatever just to get under people's skin. It could have been. I don't know. I really don't know. I wasn't there. But he felt a way about it. So what did he start doing? He starts being very passive aggressive towards the chef. And this is actually behavior that I've witnessed him do personally, where he gets in his feelings and he lashes out or gets really passive aggressive in his feelings and throws a tantrum. He starts acting like that. The girl is clearly embarrassed by his really rude behavior towards the chef, and that causes a whole argument, right? Then another argument they had was about directions. He was going in the wrong direction while they were in this on the vacation. They rented a car. He was driving in the wrong direction. She was letting him know, hey, I think you're going the wrong direction. He refused to take input from what she was saying. He totally disregarded her feelings, her statements, what she was trying to say. They were, in fact, going in the wrong direction, which caused them to be late for something they were going to. And you already could tell where it's going. Like him being probably too much in his head, right? But then again, falling into those bad patterns of like overly trying to control the situation, not taking into account his partner's feelings, being really insecure. Those issues were festering and they manifested, came to the forefront. And by the time they got back to the city where they lived, the girl was like, all right, thanks for the vacation. Actually, I think we need to break up and see other people because I just don't like this, like what you did, right? And it wasn't his first time acting that way, but I'm sure being on the trip, when you're going on trips together as a couple, it magnifies those kinds of issues. So I'm sure it magnified all of that, and I'm sure that sent it over the edge, right? And so now, me, I'm not, again, he's not my friend, right? I can see all of what happened and what went wrong. And he's bringing it up even on the trip that we just went on while we were in Brazil. He's still talking about that. And mind you, him and that girl broke up months ago. He still brought it up because he was like, oh, yeah, like, she was recently in Italy and she's calling me drunk. And he's like, I had to block her. And I'm thinking, like, oh man, like, is she calling him because she's professing her love to him? Y'all, do you know what this girl called him? She called him to ask him if he would buy her um, like a $10,000 bracelet. Okay. And you guys, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you led with your pocket so much. I mean, I don't know how much. To me, if someone has the audacity, y'all been broke up, y'all not even seeing each other, um, like that. But this person still feel comfortable enough to come to you and call you drunk and ask you to buy them a 10,000. I mean, clearly you're getting used, right? And you're getting used because you're like that. You lead with your pockets, you lead with the money, you know, you'll spend whatever when you're in love and da 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 da. You were so quick to introduce her to the family. He said, "Oh, this was my most serious relationship that I had in a year." Why? Why? Why was this your most serious? You couldn't tell that this person was only after you for money. You weren't able to identify that. And I had told my friend, I said, you know what? I said, I really feel like the issue that you have with this, like, I told my friend, who's his friend, I said, I really think his problem is that he really leads with his pockets and he shouldn't do that. And I was like, I think, you know, I was like, you should tell him that. I was like, as advice, like as a friend, you should come to him as a friend and you should tell him, you know, I think that when you're with women and you're dating them, you need to more carefully vet them just to make sure that they're just not going to use you for your money, because you seem to keep having this pattern of going after this one particular type of woman. And once they fill that void that you're seeking because of your loneliness, you immediately, you know, fall back into these bad patterns. And then as soon as you start showing you're behind, they bounce because the type of woman that you're going after knows that they don't have to tolerate that from somebody that looks like you. They know they don't have to tolerate that, right? And even when he was saying like, oh, like when she would have sex with me, like it was like she just wanted to get it over with, like she wasn't even interested, she wasn't there. And she probably did feel like, oh, whatever. Like having been there and dealing with somebody that I wasn't attracted to, but they had something that I wanted. Um, when you're being intimate, you don't care, right? But it's because you don't love that person. He's going after people that do not love him for him, and that's his problem. He had a girl that did love him for him, um, but because he felt she wasn't ambitious enough, or because he felt that maybe she wasn't even pretty enough, I don't know. He felt all of those things about her, and that's why he didn't choose her. But that was somebody that genuinely loved and enjoyed him for him. Um, but he doesn't have people around him that are honest with him, you know? And I think that is like the biggest thing when you have people around you that just go along with whatever. Oh, yeah, like everyone is just like so like you don't have it. How do you grow? How are you actually being introspective? How are you growing as an individual if everybody around you just tells you what you want to hear all the time? You know what I mean? Like you're not making any mistakes, you're not doing anything wrong, you're not rubbing anybody the wrong way. Everything, everyone around you is just you're living in an echo chamber, you know. And as much as people might hate the black sheeps or they might hate the truth tellers, this world needs people like us. Like it needs people that are like honest in this way, um, in order to evolve, in order to just become better versions of ourselves. Like if no one's pointing out to you the patterns, the patterns of mistakes, how are you going to grow, you know? But again, this guy was not my friend. He was on the trip with us. He was venting about his situation. Um, I did have a moment where I was like, why would you introduce her to your family? You know what I mean? And that was just me being like, you know, and he was like, well, you know, this was my first serious relationship and we were dating for like 6 months. I'm like, okay, like you, no, no, this not, none of this is adding up, you know? But that was it, y'all. Um, I really, the 15-minute thing, it's helping me to stay accountable, but it's so hard because I get so long winded with these stories sometimes. But um, yeah, so I'm gonna go work on that video now. Also, I dropped the other video out of sequence. I totally missed that. This next one will be in sequence. It'll just probably be a day apart. Um, but yeah, so I'll come back with some thoughts later if it comes to me.